It's time for Dodger Baseball.
What's going on, Dodgers Nation? Welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. I'm your host, Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. Thanks for rocking with us after another tough loss for the Dodgers. They dropped Game 2 of this series to the Colorado Rockies by a score of 7-4. The Dodgers, they now fall to 45-28 on the season. The Padres up big against the Diamondbacks right now. They could pull within a half game of the Dodgers before they start their series tomorrow. They've already lost 4 out of 5 games in Colorado this season, and tonight, Clayton Kershaw just didn't have it. To me, it was a Coors casualty with Clayton Kershaw. He just didn't have the feel for that slider, didn't have the command on his fastball. He just looked uncomfortable out there on the mound. He came into tonight's outing with a 2 ERA. That jumped up to a 2.94 ERA. Those 6 runs that he allowed tonight against the Rockies were the most he's allowed in a game since 2017. He had 7 walks heading into tonight, had 4 walks in 4 innings pitched. So 7 walks in 45 innings pitched. Very efficient. Lots of clean innings for Clayton Kershaw, but tonight he just did not have it. He ends up allowing 6 runs on 9 hits in 4 innings pitch, had 4 punch outs, 77 pitches total, 45 for strikes, was 12 for 25 on first pitch strikes, so he was falling behind. But let me know down below in the comment section, do you think this was just an aberration for Kershaw? Do you think it was a Coors casualty that we can just chalk it up to that, a little aberration, or can we make more of it than what it is? Because I think really the one thing that's standing out since his return is the diminished effectiveness of that slider. That slider is really what's allowed him to reinvent himself, and you had opponents were hitting a little over 160 on that slider before he went down with the injury, and since he's returned, that number's almost at 400. So he hasn't hit opponents hitting almost 400 off that slider. So, I mean, come on. I think he's need to find the feel for that slider. It's tough to do that sometimes at Coors Field. His fastball has been effective for him, but tonight just wasn't his night. But let's get down to these comments, guys. What are your thoughts on Kershaw's outing? This Dodgers offense, they used to get 3 home runs tonight. They do get 9 hits tonight. They end up going at the plate, go 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. They did have some opportunities, but they just couldn't string together a rally. A lot of those scoring runners of scoring position came with 2 outs in the inning, so really not as many opportunities as we've seen recently. So this Dodgers team just really not getting it done offensively. They score no runs. They get shut out by Cool last night. That just wasn't cool. And then tonight they lose by a score of 7-4. They get a nice little home run by Trey Turner there late. It was nice to see Max Muncy hit a bomb. It was nice to see Hanser Alberto hit his second bomb of the season. But really for the Dodgers to win tonight, the offense was going to have to explode, almost like an all-star game or something like that, where they scored a ton of runs, but they just weren't able to manufacture enough runs in this one. And the Dodgers, they lose, they fall to the Rockies. But let's jump to the comment section. One question I want to ask you guys is, do you think this Freddie Freeman drama, and it is that at this point, it's no fault of Freddie Freeman, but when you factor in the emotions, how the media has portrayed it, how they've just beaten this to a dead horse, and then you have the fact that he's firing his agent and the timeliness of that and the story that comes out Buster Only, and then he releases a statement. You had Kershaw making a comment. At some point, I don't care what anyone says, they can say all the right things, but anything is a distraction in a clubhouse, and I wonder if it's draining this team. Let me know what you think about that. Ryan Moore says, such an underachieving team. We got first, LOL. We got Kershaw was done 5 years ago, but they never learn. Aaron Calderon. Look, heading into today, Clayton Kershaw was fantastic, really. I mean, Clayton Kershaw heading into today had a 2 ERA, 45 innings pitched, and really he's making his campaign to be an all-star, and some would argue that based on the narrative, maybe he's the starter for the All-Star game if he has another couple really nice starts. But tonight, definitely, that took a hit. It's still in play as far as him making the All-Star team, but like I said, you just didn't see the command out there from Clayton Kershaw. And the curveball, had some success with it, had some strikeouts, got Joe a couple times on that curveball. But that slider, that's this pitch that generates so much swing and miss. Like I always say, Clayton Kershaw is happily married, but he has a slide piece. And it's one of the most lethal pitches in the game when it comes to generating swing and miss and being his put-away pitch. Today, just 3 swings and misses via that slider, and the other 6 were from his curveball, none from his fastball. So that really has been the difference in his return. The fastball has played up, and you see the slider, he just hasn't found the feel that was what made it so effective early on in the season. So we're going to get into that, but yeah, I want all your takes too. This offense just not getting it done, and you saw that. Anytime if I told you the Dodgers were going to score, we're going to hit 3 home runs in a game, you'd feel good about it. If I told you the Dodgers were going to go on top early, you'd probably feel good about it as well. Top of the first inning, Freddie Freeman, he singled to extend his hitting streak to 12 games. Then he stole second, and then with 1 out and the runner on second, JT, he singled to left to give the Dodgers a 1-0 lead. JT got thrown out trying to stretch it to a double. But nice pitch, nice job, nice piece of hitting by JT there. He drives it to the corner and left, and it was a nice throw by Connor Joe there. But JT needs to know, 1, we don't want to see you pull that hammy, and 2, it's tough, man, at this stage. Don't really have those wheels. And then Chris Taylor, 3-2 count to CT3. He took a ball 4 to draw a 2-out walk, and he took second on a wild pitch by Freeland. And with on the 2-2 pitch, the runner on second, Muncy, he swung and missed at a slider top of the zone there. So they had some more opportunities to add some more runs early on in the game, but they just weren't able to do so. Trey Turner, he goes 1 for 5. Freddie Freeman, he goes 2 for 5. But let me know down below in the comment section, who is the weak link of this Dodgers offense? Because this Dodgers offense, even in the epic Braves comeback, you saw the scoring was still low. I mean, they can only put up that 3rd run until late. They were down 2-0 in that game. They get shut out yesterday. This offense has been anemic for the Dodgers, and really the problem has been the meat of the order. Thankfully, in the DH spot today, Max Muncy, he showed some signs of life. Muncy goes 2 for 4, did have that big bomb there, his 6th of the year, but just not enough for this Dodgers offense, just not stringing together rallies. And for all you people out there saying Trey Turner at leadoff, I'm telling you, this team isn't a World Series contender without Mookie Betts, and they need that stability. Mookie Betts back at the leadoff spot. But Don Kim, what's up, D-Mac? No air. Please be D-Mac. Hey, it's me. What up, Ben DeCozy? This does not look like a World Series team. That's from Andre Serratos. Cesar, Dodgers bats cold past 2 games. Yeah, they couldn't hit sand. They fell off a camel in the first game. Today, they did have 9 hits. So they were out hit by only 2, 11-9, but they just didn't have those rallies, those big, explosive, crooked number innings that we're expected to see from this potent lineup. Hanser Alberto, it was nice to see him turn on a fastball early in the game. It was nice to see Max Muncy go deep and Trey Turner there late. But yeah, for the most part, not a lot of traffic on the base pass, enough to really get this offense to get ignited. And I think one thing you saw from this Dodgers team, they just the at-bat quality, it just wasn't there. It looked a little drained throughout this one, and yeah, just not even when like top of the 6th inning. Lux, he lined to center. Thompson, he lined to first. Alberto, he grounded out to third. And, you saw Max Muncy, him get that big home run there in that inning as well. But how do we lose to the worst teams? Yeah, that's teams you're supposed to beat. We got this team needs to figure it out. That's from Kyle. Kershaw is awful. That's from Debbie Knapp Khan. We got praying for D-Mac. Hey, Jaime, thanks for the prayers. But, hey, man, I've been through – hey, man, I did a post-game show after Game 4 of the World Series in 2020. Nothing will ever top that level of meltdown by Dodger fans. And when I say Dodger fans, I was a part of that meltdown. So there's nothing that I really can't take. But deep breaths, we got Panic Brothers Unite. That's from Moises. Yeah, it's not time to hit the panic button. It definitely, absolutely isn't. They just took 2 out of 3 from the hottest team in all of Major League Baseball. And I think Clayton Kershaw, just from the look, the demeanor out there, he just didn't have his stuff. And that's just going to happen from time to time. I mean, hitters are going to go through slumps. Also, pitchers are going to go through slumps. But I think if you do want to have a concern, one of my big takeaways tonight is, like I said, the effectiveness of that slider, because that slider really has been his money pitch. And basically when it comes to Clayton Kershaw at this stage of his career, if he doesn't have the feel for that slider, it's going to be a long night. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation for Clayton Kershaw, because with that diminished velocity, and he can with the tunneling, with the spin on it, the run on it, that fastball can play up, but to keep hitters off balance, you need to have that slider, because what makes a slider effective is it appears like it's a fastball longer than the other breaking pitches and just falls out of the zone. And today you saw him, he was hanging sliders, you saw he was leaving sliders up. We can talk about the bottom of the first inning, a leadoff walk to Joe. Anytime you're leading off innings with walks and you're Clayton Kershaw, you know something's up, because he's a guy that's keeping runners off the base pass all season long, and he's also a guy that, yeah, I mean, like I said, 4 walks in 45 innings heading into this outing, and today, 7 walks in 45 innings pitched heading into this outing. He had 4 walks in 4 innings pitched. So, yeah, I mean, just something was up with Kershaw's command. He was missing glove side, arm side fastball, slider. I mean, some of his misses tonight were the worst I've seen it in years, and it was the most runs he's allowed in a start since 2017. But like I said, is an aberration, because heading into tonight, he had a 27.3 strikeout rate and a 4.1 walk rate. That is elite, and a 244 FIP. So, I mean, to me, I think you're talking about a guy that's still come back from an injury, and you're talking about Coors Field, which is an absolute joke. I mean, I think he got Coors, and heading into tonight, he was in the 95th percentile in walk rate. So, yeah, he just didn't have it, unfortunately. It's tough to get the feel for that breaking ball, but I think his ERA is 2.35 with no Coors. Bam Braves fan first. Oh, yeah, I'll do it. Yo, D-Mac, happy Tuesday, my dude. What up, Anthony Keene? Gonna be asleep for the last place team. Please get this pathetic team out of first. My God. We had 168 Barnes hitting and no Will Smith. Yeah, in my opinion, you have to have Will Smith in the lineup as much as you can. And I think when you're talking about a player like Will Smith, when he's not in the lineup, his presence, his lack of presence is absolutely felt. In this one, if you look at this lineup, I mean, Justin Turner batting third. He goes 1 for 3, got that single, got the Dodgers going with that RBI early on. Chris Taylor, who is extremely streaky at times, and we saw him come off the bench against the Braves and go 3 for 3, get 3 hits, but sometimes, I mean, the lack of consistency from that spot, I mean, it tends to be an issue. Gavin Lux, he goes 1 for 4, and I just think at this point with Gavin Lux, look, the thing about a lot of people out there, you have to understand, yes, it's nice that Gavin Lux is having the success that he's having at the bottom of the lineup, and yes, he does turn over the lineup for the top of the order, and especially when you have some speed down there, it helps too when he gets on base. But at the end of the day, he is one of the Dodgers' most consistent hitters. And to me, you talk about Gavin Lux, he needs to level up, and you need to give him an opportunity to bat higher in the order, because the middle of the order just lacks that spark. Or I think Freddie Freeman, even though he's having success, he goes 2 for 5 tonight, hitting 306. I think until Mookie Betts gets back, I mean, I want to see, that the Dodgers, they love to stagger the lineup with righties and lefties. And I just want to see a shakeup where I want to see Freddie Freeman batting cleanup when you consider how much his slug has picked up. Now, the 2-hole is more important than the 4-hole. There's no question about that, but we're not talking about permanently. We're talking about with Mookie Betts out of the lineup. I think you need to add some length to the top of this order, and to me, I'd go Trey Turner, Gavin Lux, Will Smith, and Freddie Freeman. Those would be my top 4. Let me know yours down below. But here we go. We got Dodgers have Kershaw, gave Kershaw the lead, and he gives it right back from Craig Osterberg. Yeah, I think the only positive really, Clayton Kershaw could talk about bottom of the first, like I said. I mean, they were just banging up his fastball. They were ambushing him early in the count. Opponents were 3 for 25 on his fastball and hitting close to 400 on that heater you saw tonight, I mean, they were on top of it. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, one of the lowest walk rates in baseball, issues 4 walks tonight. And then at the bottom of the first pitch to Charlie Blackmon, a fastball top of the zone. Rockies get runners on first and second with no outs, and it was a nice play there by Hanser Alberto to get that out. But then he gets Brian to ground to second, and Blackmon and Joe, they advance to third with 2 outs. And then Crone, he grounded to short to score Joe to make it 1-1. Hanser made a nice play to field it a couple of plays, but on that one, there was nothing that Turner could do. So really, I mean, at that point, you just got to you got to concede the run. Then he walks Rogers on 4 straight pitches, glove side and arm side mixed with a fastball on the slider, and he gets Iglesias to ground to the pitcher. So 1 run on 1 hit there in the bottom of the first inning, and then you jump to the bottom of the second. We're going to jump into that in a quick second, but I want to know from you guys, what are your thoughts on Freddie Freeman making the statement that he made today? What are your thoughts on him firing just firing his agent, representing himself, and also the timing of it all? Do you guys have any opinions on that? Do you think that the Freddie Freeman drama, and like I said, this is not all on Freddie Freeman because really a lot of it's on the media as well, but at the end of the day, it's still drama. It is still a distraction, and I'll tell you, I mean, I've talked to some players, and it's definitely not nothing. Let's just put it that way. Let's just put it that way. And when you're in the grind of a 162-game season, you're in the grind of a road trip, and you have to deal with all these headlines and everything that's surrounding, oh, does Freddie Freeman bleed Dodger blue? Does he want to bleed to be a Dodger? When I tell you guys that, hey, man, Freddie Freeman, there's a chance they might have to throw him on the 60-day IL with a broken heart, right? But look, I mean, Freddie Freeman, he did what I think he was supposed to do today, and I think he made that statement. And I think that, that was, to me, a big deal for Freddie Freeman to at least come out and say something. Freddie Freeman told reporters today in Colorado, there needs to be closure. It's time. I'm a Dodger for the next 6 years, and that's where my focus lies. I'm happy to be a Dodger. Do you guys think that was forced? Do you think that was people, his manager, people surrounding him saying, hey, you got to say something? Do you think that was a response to Clayton Kershaw? But let me know. Mike M says the Dodgers have no fire. Bellinger by far the weakest link. That's from Dave Zander. Dodgers have to stop thinking they're great and start to want to prove they are great. Yeah, I think, Marco, that's a fair point. You have to go out there and beat big league competition. I don't care if it's the Rockies. I don't care if it's the Yankees. I mean, teams are going to be gunning for the Dodgers. They have a bullseye on their back, but at the same token, they also want to succeed for themselves. You don't get to this level without being elite at some capacity, at some point during your career. So I think that, look, the Dodgers, just because they have the Dodgers on the front of their chest and they have the lineup that they have, you can't be paper champions, right? You still have to go out there and execute and win games. And Eric C. says, bat belly 11, please. Rebecca, I have empathy for what happened to Freddie, but he needs to go now. His heart and soul will never be with the Dodgers. Wow, Rebecca, that is pretty hardcore from you. Wow, you guys, you're just done with Freddie. Rockies, just a great home team, no biggie. Yeah, I mean, Rockies have played well at home. We know that that's a circus clown show of a stadium, of an idea really, just to have baseball in Colorado. But do we have hitting coaches? That's from Wilfredo C. Cordova. Doofy, really? Should we give up from? We should get up from what you're saying? I don't know what would lead you to believe that from anything that I've been saying, because I can still spin a positive from this game. I think the bullpen, they came in. Save for Yency Almonte, who he ends up going an inning, gives those 2 hits, allowed a run. He was his best night. They scored the sac fly off of him there in the 6th. But how about Reyes Maranta? Reyes Maranta, he's been fantastic. He's really becoming one of my favorite players to watch right now is Reyes Maranta. He comes in and he just makes it look easy. He goes 1 inning, had 2 punch-outs, 11 pitches, 9 for strikes. So, yeah, Reyes Maranta, he was really, really solid, man. And he's just kind of building, and hopefully he's a guy that the Dodgers can continue to turn to, and who knows? I mean, maybe Reyes Maranta can really get it going. But, yeah, I mean, he's a guy that's really showed out for this Dodger team. He's really made it look easy, and he's also on a nice streak right now. He's retired 15 straight batters, and he's punching out tons of guys. So, of those 15, eight punch outs of those 15. So Reyes Maranta is really getting it going. But yeah, I think the one thing that, like we saw last season, the Dodgers, they lose those 2 games to the Rockies there in August. They kind of flip the NL West. They lose the NL West by 1 game. Well, if you look at the Dodgers so far this season, they're having issues against some of the bad teams. You saw what they were able to do against the Pirates. You saw what happened against the Rockies. Well, so far this season, against 2 of the worst teams in baseball, they're 2-9. 2-9 against the Pirates and Rockies. So that's just not going to get it done. You got to beat the bad teams. Agreed, pound for pound. Here we go. Pound for pound. Dodgers to trade for 5 starting pitchers and 9 hitters and 1 closer. Pound for pound. You just want a whole new team. You just want to etch a sketch this thing and shake it up and just get a completely new team. Hey, that's a little too much. Eric C. Steal more bases, put pressure on the defense. Hey, you saw the game plan early on there Freddie Freeman, he steals first. He steals second in the first inning. So, yeah, I mean, the Dodgers, they did do that early on in this game, but yeah, I think when you talk about as a whole, really it's just the lack of production up and down this lineup. You're seeing the slug is down for the Dodgers. You're seeing runners in their execution when runners in scoring position. Clutch hitting is down for LA. Max Muncy, he was their most prolific bomber, their most prolific thumper for the last 4 seasons, and he just hasn't been able to get it going. So that's why it was very encouraging to see him go 2 for 4 tonight, hitting his 6th home run of the season. But yeah, I think all in all, this offense, they just look drained out there. There's just not a big spark for this Dodgers offense, and I think that's something that you consider. But yeah, I mean, look, when you talk about stolen bases, Dodgers have 52 swipe bags on the season. That's good for 4th in all of Major League Baseball. So I don't think you look at that and say, oh, that's the reason why they're winning or losing. I mean, that's just it's really not it. I mean, you can steal bases, and I agree with that. You want to put pressure on the defense, on the pitcher, and that's definitely a great thing when you can go out there and execute that and be, especially when you have the speed of a Gavin Lux, the speed of a Trey Turner, who is elite speed. But yeah, we got Dodgers are slumping, injuries. They'll be fine. That's from David P. Vincent Lopez, ball doesn't move as well in that elevation. Yeah, the ball doesn't break as well. It doesn't move as well. You're seeing flat sliders. You're seeing the sliders. They don't have that bite. I don't know why any pitcher would ever sign there. But, yeah, on top of that, the ball carries more as well. So, yeah, it's just kind of a nightmare for pitchers at times. Freddie is performing. It's one thing if he wasn't contributing to the Dodgers. What about the injuries? And, yeah, hey D-Mac, that's from Xavier. Yeah, Chrissy K, that's actually what I said on my show earlier today, is as long as he's balling, I don't care if he's balling. And the fact is that Freddie Freeman, despite what you want to say about him, which I think a lot of it is overblown as far as his relationship with the Atlanta Braves and the emotions he showed and this and that. The fact is, he's playing at an all-star level. He has played in every single game this season for the Dodgers, and he's still getting it done. He extended his hitting streak to 12 games. So I think it'd be one thing if he was sulking, if he was not performing well, and then making these comments and having all these possible things that could be seen as distractions. But the reality is he's still a really good and productive baseball player for the Dodgers. And look, hey, man, that's just how it is, okay, man? He is being very upfront and forthright about his emotions, and yeah, he was hurt about what happened with the Atlanta Braves. But like I said, I think that it's over now. I truly do, and I think that if you're Freddie Freeman, one thing you have to realize is, look, this Dodgers team, they're superior to the Atlanta Braves when it comes to their foundation, their international appeal. This is the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's not just one of the biggest brands in baseball. It's one of the elite marquee brands in all of professional sports. So I think if you're Freddie Freeman, you have to realize that this fan base, look at all you comments here. Here, fire. We got Craig Tucker. We've lost 4 or 5 from the Rockies. Not a good omen. We got, do you think the Dodgers will make a trade happen? If so, who? That's from SC Experience. I'll touch on that in just a second. I hate Dave Roberts from Jeremiah. Talk about a beta. Lunch break is over. Gotta go. Hey, C. Aurelia gives me $5. Hippo character with stars, growing his eyes, pumping his arms in the air with the word hype pulsating above him. Hashtag let Freddie go from Rebecca. Wow. I hate Roberts too. That's from Careless Whisper. Let's talk crybaby talk. That's from Gil. You guys calling Freddie a crybaby. Freeman can carry the Dodgers. It's all Freddie's fault. I'm kidding. Roberts' lineup is suck. That's from Careless Whisper. Is the rumors true that Trey Turner going to the Phillies this offseason and we could get Correa to the Dodgers? Well, I did a video on Correa earlier today, and that's what Bob Nightingale said, that, hey, he's going to end up in blue next year. Will it be Cubs blue or Dodger blue? And I think if you're the Dodgers, they're going to leave their options open when it comes to who will be the shortstop for them next season. I think that there's nothing, of course, that would lead me to believe that anything is a lock at this point. I still think we're far away from any type of imminent decisions regarding Carlos Correa and the Los Angeles Dodgers, but I do think that there might be a tiny bit of smoke there. I mean, I don't see why not, especially if Trey Turner is going to sign either with the Phillies or the Yankees or the Orioles or one of those East Coast teams. So, look, the Dodgers want a premium shortstop. There's no question about it. Bad timing, Jack Hempel. Yeah, Freddie is having a better year than Matt Olson. Yeah, I mean, look, if Freddie wants to be mad at everyone and Freddie wants to talk about his agent and his agent is the enemy. And he wants to, I don't know, to me, the timing and the optics of him firing his agent or whatever happened with XL right now after you go to Atlanta, it's just the optics are terrible. And to me, when the media is controlling the narrative, when you're talking about seeing that crying video after every commercial break and talking about the emotions, well, if you're Freddie Freeman, you have to take back the narrative. You have to change the optics of the situation. And one way you do that, it's very easy. You say, look, everything happens for a reason. I had a great time with the Atlanta Braves. I accomplished a lot in the ATL, World Series championship, an MVP, a 5-time All-Star, 1-time Gold Glove Award winner. But guess what? Things happen, and I'm with the Los Angeles Dodgers, and I'm thankful for that opportunity to wear that Dodger blue, and I couldn't be any happier, and things happen for a reason. That's all Freddie Freeman really had to say, and he could have cried his eyeballs out. You could have had a rain delay in Atlanta with all the tears he was crying, and we would have been okay with it as long as he would mention something about the Los Angeles Dodgers, and I think that is what irked Clayton Kershaw a little bit. The fact that he said, hey, we don't want to be playing second fiddle here, and I think that that's really what sparked Freddie Freeman's comments today. I truly believe that, and I also think that anyone out there who's saying that this means nothing as far as being some form of a distraction to the team, I think that you just, I don't know, this is distractions are distractions. When I say that it's anything that can take away your mental focus from the game, even for 5 minutes, is considered a distraction. Yes, these guys, they have the ability to compartmentalize. They have the ability to focus on what's in front of them and be professional, but I think they're sick and tired of hearing about Freddie Freeman and the emotions and everything that's surrounding. I think this thing has kind of blown itself out of proportion at this point. But here we go. What is that? Denver, the ball don't curve there. Greg, we got what the? We need a drink fat manager like Ozzie Guillen. That's from Steve May. You're killing me. Here we go. We got forced, definitely. So you think that was forced by Freddie Freeman? Interesting. Did Corey Seager cry? Corey Seager could watch Bambi and not cry. I mean, that guy doesn't have the emotions, man. He's like a robot. Dodgers are resting for the Padres series. That's from Francisco. Hey, man, I mean, I don't see why they would do that. A win's a win. I don't care if it's against the Padres or the Rockies. And I think this Dodgers team, they fully expected to go out there and have a chance to win. But Clayton Kershaw, like I said, please bring up Miguel Vargas. That's from Jeremiah's. BC, too bad Dodgers can't play Braves. Every game they'd win 108. We got agreed Anthony Keane, too little, too late. Yeah, I think that's just the thing. Like, let's jump to the bottom of the second inning here. And Clayton Kershaw, he couldn't finish guys off today as well. He was up 1-2 to Grichuk, and no one bring up that Cardinals series 2014. I don't want to think about that, but up 1-2 to Grichuk. He misses with 2 straight pitches to load the count full. Then he fouls off the 3-2 pitch, and then Grichuk, he just hits a foul ball that he hits the foul pole, and it's a goner. I mean, he hits a bomb right there, hit the foul pole for a home run. That ties things up at 2. And then, yeah, I mean, the problem there is he falls behind the count, and then, I mean, he's ahead in the count 1-2, and then he falls behind, and he loads the count, and you know that at that point, he's just going to be sitting on that pitch. So that's the thing with Clayton Kershaw is tonight's outing, he just didn't have the ability just to go that slider when they needed to just have it drop out of the zone, get that swing and miss, and get out of the at-bat. You saw longer at-bats, and once they were sitting on that fastball, either early in the count or late in the counts, they were hitting it, and they were hitting it with regularity. And then next batter, 1-0 pitch to Diaz. He singled on a fastball. He just kind of left it up there. That's another thing, too. He wasn't staying low in the zone. Then the AB, the at-bat that really hurt Clayton Kershaw today, that really just kind of had things spiral out of control, really was following that. Following that at-bat, he's up. Oh, I lost my comments here, guys. Yeah, so to Montero right there, I mean, he misses with strike 1 on the slider, bottom of the zone, and then he gets ahead in the count 1-2, and then he throws 2 straight balls, misses with the curveball low, misses with the slider low, and he fouls off 2 straight pitches. Then on the 3-2 count on the 8th pitch of the at-bat, he misses with the slider low to give the Rockies runners on first and second with no outs. And then he comes back to strike out Joe with a curveball at the bottom of the zone for the first out. And then Blackmon, he singles to right, scoring Diaz to make it 3-2 Dodgers. Montero advances to second. And then Chris Bryant, first pitch, he's ambushing. He flies out for the second out. And then next batter up with the bases loaded, Rogers reaches on an infield single right back to Kersh, scoring Montero to make it 4-2 Rockies. And following that, Iglesias, he grounded into the fielder's choice to third. And so they get 3 runs on 4 hits, so a lot of hits for the Rockies tonight. And then on that play there, Clayton Kershaw, you almost wish he had laid off it like Tony Gonsolin did the other night against the Braves on Sunday, where he let Gavin Lux to make the play on it. But unfortunately, it worked against them, and Dodgers down 4-2 at that point. Here you go, back to Freddie Freeman talk. I think that was forced. The Dodgers are the rebound relationship after a messy divorce. That's from Dave Zander. Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is, if you want to talk about relationships, if you're Freddie Freeman, you had a bad breakup, but you are the one that ended up with a supermodel, right? It's not like he signed with the Tampa Bay Rays, which are a good organization, or another organization out there. The Dodgers, when you talk about the resources, when you talk about the fact they're World Series contenders each and every year, they're perennial contenders to win it all. They win the West, and you talk about playing in front of 50,000 plus fans. You talk about the weather. You talk about the fact it's a homecoming. You ended up with the supermodel, and you have a lot to be happy and a lot to be thankful about. On the same token, it's not going to erase the past. And like I said, I think at this point, Freddie Freeman realizes, look at this, look how many people are on a chat after a Rockies loss, okay? The Dodgers fan base is second to none, and you piss off this fan base, you don't want to see that. Because last time I checked, I don't remember the Braves chanting Freddie, 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 Freddie every time he came to the plate, but I do remember Dodgers fans doing that. Dodgers fans love hard, okay? And this town is a town this is the Mamba mentality, right? This is the Mamba mentality in the city of Los Angeles, a very hardworking town. And yeah, I mean, I don't think that the Dodgers want to be seen as second fiddle in any capacity. And like I said, I think it's important for him to mention that, and I think that he should have done that every time that he said whatever he said about the Braves. He should have followed each and every one of those statements up with, yeah, I ended up with the Los Angeles Dodgers. And, yeah, I'm happy to be here, and I think that I'm happy that he made those comments, and I think that they're genuine. I definitely think they're true, but I also think that they came a couple days too late. So, yeah, I mean, to me, I think showing the Dodgers a little love. I mean, a team pays you. Look, the Braves, they didn't want to give you. Look at the Braves. They just won a World Series. They're making all that money. They didn't want to give you that 6th year. Dodgers, they stepped in and they said, hey, you want a 6th year? How's 6 years, $162 million sound? How does that sound, Freddie? The Braves, they're not showing you that love. What did Freddie Freeman say at his initial press conference? He said, hey, one of the reasons why I picked the Dodgers, look, they were at Mookie Betts' wedding. Nelly was performing, and instead of enjoying a fire Nelly track, could have been Hot in Here, could have been Ride With Me. What's your favorite Nelly song? Let me know down below in the comment section. They were out there FaceTiming Freddie Freeman, saying, hey, when this lockout begins, we want you to have us on your mind. And then what ended up happening, he ends up joining the Dodgers. So the Dodgers were relentless in their pursuit of Freddie Freeman. They showed him a lot of love, and I think that he should do the same during this whole situation. So, yeah, this is the Dodgers, man. They don't take a backseat to anyone in professional sports. None. Here we go. Start Lamb, please. That's from Dave. Yeah, what'd you guys think? Shout out to the Lamley. Shout out to my the boss, my man, Mr. Clint Pasillas. He was happy. We were in the studio today, and he read the news that Jake Lamb, Rake Lamb, as we call him, of course, was called up, and man, it was like he had won a championship. He like slammed his water ball to the ground. It was a great moment, man. I know that he was stoked to see him in there and to get his opportunity. And like I said, it's going to take more than just one at bat for Jake Lamb, and he goes in there. And, yeah, not a great at-bat, that's for sure. He struck out swinging on that cutter low and away. Really heavy dose of cutters there, but we'll see what he can do, man. He's raking at the AAA level, but is not the same. We got Yankees are winning the World Series from Justin Lamas. Yikes, Correa. The dude cried for 2 straight hours. That's from Matty Man Dodge. Y'all smoking to think they would trade Bellinger. That's from Ill18. What the F is going on in the chat right now? I don't know. Dodgers are a good representation of their fan base. Dodgers are a good representation of their fan base. Soft, all up in your feelings over Freeman. That's beta. D-Mac, here's your chance to represent Freddie. Be his agent. I would still boo Correa from Belly_Lover. Correa is not as good as a contact hitter as Trey. BC has no question about that. Trey sucks in the playoffs. Go sign Correa. That's from Justin. Yeah, I mean, talk about the difference there. Carlos Correa, an 849 OPS in the postseason. Trey Turner, a sub-600 OPS. But Matt Olson has 12 bombs. Tired of the crying. That's from Ashley Stewart. Even the Dodgers team was tired of the crying. Yeah, do you guys think that picture was meant anything where he's kind of above and you see him by? I don't think so. But Doom_Sal, I respect Freeman for his work ethic where he doesn't understand what it means to be a Dodger. Some of these bold statements from you guys. But, hey, man, this is how you feel. And the thing about this show, you guys know I don't filter your opinions like other shows might. I let you guys, get it off your chest, man. That's what you got to do. But, yeah, I don't know. I blocked the Braves guy. I don't know why. Here we go. D-Mac, you need to represent the Kershaw hate is wild. That's from Joshua Luna. Well, yeah, I don't understand the Kershaw hate at all. I mean, he's a living, breathing, walking Hall of Famer. He had one rough start after an otherwise really spectacular start to his season. So, yeah, I mean, I chalk this one up to a combination of coming back from his injury, still getting the feel for that slider. Still, like I said, before he went down with the injury, hitters were around 160 against that slider. Since he's returned, it's almost 400. So, yeah, it's a little flat on the slider right now. There's no question about it. Doesn't have that same bite, doesn't have the same feel for it, but he's going to get it back. That is the pitch that really has kept him in the game as long as it has, even with the diminished velocity, sitting like really around 90 miles per hour. But here we go, back into the comments section. You guys are fiery tonight. I like it, man. You guys want some flames? You guys have flames. We definitely need Correa, someone with that killer instinct. Angelo Bellin, IB Strokin, anyone else going to be at the Padres series this weekend? IB Strokin, I think I'm going to a game at some point this weekend for sure. Rich Hill, we need a new manager. Roberts just doesn't bleed Dodger blue. If there's anything, I'm telling you, Rich Hill, Dave Roberts, I've spoke to him. This man, he bleeds Dodger blue. Nothing else. LJ, hey, D-Mac, talk about Kershaw's decline. I mean, I think that, if you want to talk about Clayton Kershaw's decline, really, it's more about just him kind of in the waning years of his career. Not really, his prime, his peak was so absolutely ridiculous. We're talking about a guy that's in the conversation with the all-time greats when it comes to his absolute peak. But, yeah, he's had to reinvent himself due to that diminished velocity, due to some of these injuries that you see him sustaining year in and year out. But, look, you're talking about a guy that, at his best, a 1.69 ERA in 2016. We're talking about a three-time Cy Young Award winner. You're talking about a guy that was an MVP. Look at an 8.6 F4 season in 2015. A 7.2 F4 season in 2013, 7.9 F4 season in 2014. So really, when you talk about someone like a Clayton Kershaw, I think that when you consider all the mileage on his arm and on his back and everything that he's really had to do for this franchise as far as the short starts on short rest, keep putting them on their shoulders. Look at the series against the Cardinals and the Mets, and early on in his career, they really leaned on Kershaw heavily. And I just think that the way that pitchers are managed as differently as the last 5 to 6, 7 years, I think you would not see that usage during his prime that he had to endure. So, yeah, I think Clayton Kershaw, I think that he has nothing to prove to anyone. He can never pitch one game for the rest of his career, and he could be a Hall of Famer, okay? So that's all you need to know. He doesn't have to do anything to prove he's a Hall of Famer. Do you know how many players have actually played Major League Baseball? Let me see if I can get anyone to have any guesses. How many players have actually played Major League Baseball in the history of the game? I'll give you, hey, D-Mac, talk about asada fries. Hey, I love me some, dude, I'm trying to give those up, but I do love me some asada fries. No excuse for Kershaw. He's always hurt. Michael Rain, Lil, we got Let's Go Rockies. Wow, is a Rockies fan? Are you, related to one of the players or the man? I didn't know there was actually a Rocky fan. Hey, we got Block the I don't even see him because I blocked him. D-Mac, sir, Trace and Lamb will be the best duo of the year. Mark my words. What up, Trace Thomas Redemption? I will remember that. 5,000. Okay, Jamie Lannister. By the way, Jamie Lannister, I didn't like your arc on Game of Thrones, but you're close to the right answer. A little over 20,000 players have played Major League Baseball in the show, and only 84 pitchers have made it to the Hall of Fame. 84 pitchers have made it to the Hall of Fame. Clayton Kershaw is a Hall of Famer. He's a World Series champion. And really, if the Astros weren't the Trastros that hadn't cheated, Clayton Kershaw would have won the World Series MVP. I guarantee you he would have won the World Series MVP over Jock Peterson in 2017. When you consider the outing he had there in Game 1 against the Houston Astros. First pitcher in the National League to throw 11 strikeouts without a walk. He was phenomenal, and then he was cruising through 4 before you saw them start to where they started to steal signs. So Clayton Kershaw should have a World Series MVP under his belt. So it really has nothing to prove to anyone. I think the fact that any Dodger fan out there that can say anything negative towards Clayton Kershaw, I mean, based on what he's done for this franchise, look, man. That to me is a head scratcher. I'll be honest with you. I mean, this guy has put his body on the line. He wasn't soft, super soft, Mr. Business Decision Max Scherzer, who was Mr. Softy last year. You want to talk about crying? Max Scherzer's dead arm was crying last year when he said, hey, I'm not going to pitch because I know I'm a free agent. I know I want to sign that big bag. Clayton Kershaw would have never done that for the Dodgers, okay, during his prime. When he said, oh, I can't, my arm is dead. No. Clayton Kershaw wouldn't have done that, okay? He put his body on lines for this franchise, so for anyone to criticize him, I think it's pretty much absolutely ridiculous. But just look at the peak of his career. I mean, he really doesn't have to throw another baseball. But here we go. Kershaw equals the GOAT. Before today, Kershaw could have given up 150 runs without getting out. It would still have a sub-3 career ERA. Now, that's my comment of the night. That's from Lou. Yeah, I think that to me, when people criticize Kershaw, my honest question, without being condescending, is really, how long have you been a Dodgers fan? I really would want to know that question. I mean, were you a Dodger fan in 2015 when he had 301 punchies and led the league with 301 strikeouts and 199 FIP? I mean, a career 2.48 ERA, lowest ERA in the modern era. So yeah, I mean, to me, I kind of think Clayton Kershaw is the baseball version of Aaron Rodgers in a way. He's got the lowest ERA in the modern era. Rodgers has the QBR, but both have the one title. But here we go. Honey, I've been a Dodger fan for 19 years, Justin. And you think that Kershaw is, and you're criticizing Kershaw? I'm curious. Here we go. Hey, D-Mac, I appreciate you retweeting Trace Thompson's. Hey, man, hey, you guys hit me up on Twitter, man. Here we go. Kershaw did everything for our boys when he was winning. It just sucked that our GM couldn't just get the right guy for this team. Yeah, I mean, you talk about the Frank McCourt years. You talk about not making a trade. You talk about not making a trade for CC Sabathia. So, I mean, there was a bunch of – one thing about Kershaw, he always takes the ball and has that bulldog mentality. Yeah, I think that's a great point, too. I mean, he'll live with the failure. And I think the impressive thing about Kershaw is the fact that there has been this reinvention. I don't think that when he has a great start, I always kind of laugh when I see people saying vintage Kershaw, because it's not vintage Kershaw, because vintage Kershaw was throwing 95. He's touching 96, 97 at one point in his career. And then you were seeing the lethal curveball. You're seeing the slider. But really, you're talking about a guy that his slider usage has eclipsed his fastball usage. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and defend Clayton Kershaw all night, because personally, I actually don't even have to, because it really is a debate that's not even worth having, because Clayton Kershaw, I mean, what kind of contract is Clayton Kershaw on? Ask yourself that question, right? I mean, this is a guy that isn't getting paid the amount that he was when he was the first $200 million pitcher in his career, when he signed that $215 million deal. He's not the same guy that signed that 3-year, $93 million deal with the Dodgers back in 2018. He came back on a 1-year deal with the Dodgers, and 1 year, $17 million deal. So, yeah, he's still very effective, and he's still a great value at that price. But Kershaw has carried this team to 0 championships. That's from Gary A. I think so. Basically, to say that Kershaw hasn't carried this team to 0 championships, I never want to hear you ever say the Houston Astros. I never want to hear you say the Houston Asterisks, okay? Because Clayton Kershaw would have won the World Series MVP in 2017, and I just think that it's absolutely – I almost think it's damn near blasphemous, really, to criticize Clayton Kershaw on that level. Then you also talk about the 2020 postseason. If you look at his ERA in the World Series, a 2.31 ERA, a .857 WHIP, and 11 2/3 innings pitched. You saw him have that 13 strikeout game against the Brewers in the wild card series. He had his ups and downs in the DS and the NLCS, but yeah, Clayton Kershaw, I mean, 189 innings pitched, a 4.19 postseason ERA, but let's say you take his best innings out of that, and yeah, I mean he's just fine. I mean, I think the great thing about Sandy Koufax that he has for him is back in the day, you're only pitching in the quote unquote postseason if you're in the World Series. And Clayton Kershaw, 189 postseason innings, and we're talking about a different level of baseball player in this day and age. Well, Sandy, 57 innings pitched and a .95 ERA. So, yeah, to me, I think any Kershaw criticism is unwarranted. He's going to have a statue there. But, D-Mac, let's real talk on Kershaw last 3 years. I think the real talk on Kershaw last 3 years is if he has the feel for his slider, he can still be effective. Is he elite? The answer is no. But he can still go out there and he can still eat innings. He can still give his team a chance to win. But I think the tough thing for Clayton Kershaw is he set the standard so high for himself because at his peak, he was the clear-cut best pitcher in the game. You look at the numbers, look at the WAR, look at the ERA. He was superior to Justin Verlander. He was superior to Max Scherzer at his peak in his prime. So I think that's the issue for Clayton Kershaw. But Gary A. Kershaw, great regular season pitcher. I'll give him that. See, I think that to me really just kind of goes back to the frustration of that Astros series because he wins that World Series MVP, and I can come back at you with that, and that pretty much ends the discussion. But, hey, man, Astros will get theirs one day. Karma's a bitch, and it's never late. But here we go. This Braves fan is acting like a typical bandwagon fan. Kershaw, Justin Lamas, real rings after 2010. San Francisco 2010. Okay, yeah. Look at what Mad Bum conned the D-Max into paying him. Yeah, I mean, look. The postseason is very fickle, and some guys, they definitely have the heartbeat. They have the way to perform. You talk about the Schillings. You're talking about the Koufaxes. A lot of gamers out there, but Kenley, Wadlike, but Coors Field will make any elite pitcher look mediocre. That's from Isaiah Valeriano, and Yankees, Astros, and the Giants. That's from BC. But, yep, guys, okay, I know it hurts, but Kershaw had become a number 5 starter, at best. That's just not true, man. I mean, I hate to break it to you, but Clayton Kershaw is not a number 5 starter at this stage of his career. Like I said, a 2 ERA in 45 innings pitched. He had pitched 7 perfect innings in his first start of the season against the Minnesota Twins. The idea that Clayton Kershaw is a number 5 starter at this stage of his career, if he's healthy, he has the feel for his breaking stuff, and for the most part, on most nights he does, what Clayton Kershaw does that you don't see from Walker Buehler anymore is he generates swing and miss. He gets punch-outs, even compared to Julio Urias, okay? So that's just the reality. Is he's missing bats more than any starter on this team, really, heading into tonight. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I think we need to do I need to do a video and dive into some of the numbers here. But we go this every year. It's baseball. Calm down, guys. But, yep, guys, thanks for rocking with us after the Dodgers. They lose tonight to the Colorado Rockies, and they head into a big series against the San Diego Padres. They're 45-28, half game up with the Padres by the time you're watching this. Rough outing for Clayton Kershaw. Offense still not getting it done. They're missing Mookie Betts, especially in that leadoff spot when the Dodgers were playing their best baseball of the season, scoring 6 runs per game with Mookie Betts in the leadoff spot. So that's another extremely ludicrous myth in Dodgerland that the Dodgers would be better off with Trey at the leadoff spot. Give me the Dodgers record with Trey at the leadoff spot versus Mookie at the leadoff spot. Give me the offensive numbers top to bottom, and you'll answer the question for yourself. But thanks for rocking with us, guys. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. For our latest, is Bellinger done? I think Bellinger still needs to prove to himself and to the rest of the league that he could be anything more than a 200 to 220 batting hitter that that's easy to attack, that has a lot of holes in his swing. Defensively, adequate. There's no question about that. But I wouldn't say he's done because there's still definitely something to be said about above-average defense and the fact that he can come through in big situations. You saw him with a clutch base hit. You saw some really quality at-bats in the Braves series from Cody Bellinger. So, in my opinion, is he done as a big leaguer? Absolutely not. Is he done as an MVP candidate? As an all-star? That's possible. But, yeah, he's still got a spot in the bigs. But a couple more, and we'll let you guys out. Anthony Keene, yeah, as always, D-Mac, thanks for knowledge. Hey, Marina, thank you for always rocking with us. Justin is a trash can, the 2017. Here we go. We got Sir. See you next time. But, yeah, thanks, guys, as always. Like I said, Terry, Ty, D-Mac, Preston, thank you very much, 99 cents. Bellinger needs to go to Japan and fix that whole in his Bellinger in his swing. But yeah, guys, the great thing about this is we can disagree on stuff, and it's all good, man. That's what the show's all about, man. It makes it more fun. A little debate here. It's what we love about talking baseball, right? But thanks, guys, as always. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll see you guys during the Padres series. Unless something crazy happens last night, maybe we'll go live again. Moose 1032. Thank you for another going, bro. Thank you, guys. Eddie, Haskell, Freeman cries a lot. D-Mac, you think the Bulldog can still pitch? Did you guys see that video I posted about the Bulldog yesterday? I was at that Dodgers All Access event. By the way, I'm going to post a video where I was doing batting cages in the Dodgers batting cage in their clubhouse. I was throwing bullpen at Dodger Stadium yesterday. You saw Oral. He trolled me yesterday, but it was good. Where's your Lakers coverage, Mike Rojo? I mean, we just dropped something on Kyrie the other day where me and my man Eric Yulo, we're coming at you with more of that. I feel better. Thanks, Craig. But thanks, guys. Hey, the sky's not falling. The Dodgers still in first place. Lakers in deep. Westbrook should retire. Okay. But yeah, good times, guys. Anthony King, I'll keep you posted. But holla at you guys later, man. As always, enjoy the night, Justin. I like that. At the end, getting your Dub Nation on. Hey, man, your Dubs are the model organization on the West Coast. By the way, we could just go fall off the rails here, but I guess we will since you guys are talking basketball. Dude, I was driving to the studio today, and I heard a beat writer on AM 570, and he says the Clippers are not just the best run front office in basketball, that they're the best run front office in all of professional sports. Dude, I almost slammed on the brakes on the 10 freeway because I was laughing so hard. They're not even the best organization in California. The Warriors are, right? So, I mean, that was the most laughable thing ever to suggest the Clippers, a professional that gets paid to write about sports, legitimately said on the radio today that the Clippers have the best front office in all professional sports. 0 titles. How about, Justin, on top of that, 0 finals appearances? The worst organization in professional sports but before he took over. But Jerry West turned the Lakers. Okay, I'm a Clipper. Hey, Matt, Meadow, I don't even hate on the Clippers. Meadow, I don't even hate on the Clippers like that. I respect the Clippers. I actually have a lot of respect for Steve Ballmer. I think he's a great owner. I think he's great for the league. But to suggest they're the best run front office in all of sports, I mean, that's a head scratcher there. But thanks, guys, and as always, enjoy the rest of your night. My name is Doug McCain. Like I said, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Also, if you are on TikTok, we just got the TikTok going. I'm uploading stuff all day long on the TikTok. On the TikTok, I'm not dancing yet. I mean, I'm just saying yet. And it's gonna take me a minute to learn the choreography, you know. But go follow us on TikTok and enjoy the rest of your night, guys. Take it easy. Remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodgers baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
It's time for Dodgers.